Hey Sagittarius, this is your reading and your channeled messages for mid-October 2020. So this could resonate for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. So Sag, I have some channeled messages here that I got clairaudiently when I was tapping into your energy today, and there's quite a few of them. So Sag, the first thing I heard was finding the time to make your way in the world. Then the next message I got was peeking at the outcome and at success. And this one was kind of funny because I wasn't sure if peeking was meant to be like the peak of a mountain or if it was peeking like looking at. So I think that it is both, which isn't uncommon for some spirit guides to speak this way because they try to use the most efficient word since there's a lot of like translation going on and energy that's expended connecting with you. It wouldn't be uncommon for them to use a word and actually mean both meanings. So in that context, or in this context, Sagittarius, I think it means peeking at the outcome and at success by watching a video like this, like looking at the outcome or at the success. But then I'm also taking it to mean, Sag, that whatever situation you're thinking about, the ultimate outcome is going to peak, like at the top of a mountain, at the outcome and peak with your success. So that's really exciting right off the bat for you, Sagittarius. So then I just got the single word reading. So some of you Sagittarians could be using your own intuitive abilities for readings. Perhaps you're making videos too, or connecting with other people with your abilities. Or it could mean that some of you Saggies are reading, maybe you're reading as a way for self-care, or you could be reading or studying something. So then the next thing I heard was your way out of the chaos starts at home with your tribe. So Sagittarius, the collective energy just all around does have a certain layer of chaos to it right now, especially if you're in America. So I just wanted to put that out there just as kind of like a confirmation and an affirmation for you that, you know, that energy is there. I'm not taking this to mean that there is particular chaos in your home. I think that the message more means that to combat or to mitigate the surrounding chaos that starts outside of yourself and outside of your home, the way out of it, though, does start at home. So there's something at home in your space with your family or the people that you live with that can help that space feel more sacred and calm while we all kind of weather this chaotic storm. So then I heard righting the wrongs of society by voicing your concerns. So Sagittarius, it looks like you could be standing up for a group of people or standing up for someone in the end of October. And then I heard caring to take the way that is less traveled. So it wasn't the exact quote of taking the road less traveled, but it certainly reminded me of that, Sag. So then I heard marking success with your hand. And I actually started this video and messed up and restarted, but I had accidentally said marketing success with your hand. So I just wanted to put that back in there because sometimes these mistakes aren't really mistakes. So Sagittarius, or some of you Sagittarians, I think are going to have great success this end of this month and going into November with any marketing that you're doing, or perhaps you're going to come up with some kind of new marketing scheme for whatever it is that you are selling. And then for the general Sagittarian collective, it seems that like writing or handwriting or something written is just really highlighted right now. So marking success with your hand. That also really sounds like it could be like signing a contract. Like what's really coming to mind here is maybe some of you Sagittarians are buying a home or getting a home loan. And so that is something that you have to sign at the end and would be a real marker of success for someone out there. So then I heard playing an instrument, and I didn't get any more than that. So some of you Sagittarians play an instrument or will be playing an instrument. And the feeling or sense that I got around that too was that this is one of those things that if you're feeling nervous or anxious, or you are sensing a particular amount of chaos, that playing an instrument could be helpful to you at this time. I also find it really helpful to play classical music because there is just something about that vibration that can really uplift a house. Whether you like classical music or not, I just find it to be really helpful. So sometimes that's even something I do, like if I'm not in the room, or if you're someone that particularly has a distaste for classical music but want to see if it higher the vibration, you can always play it when you like leave the house or leave the room. And then the last thing I heard for you, Sagittarius, was content with seeing the path forward in the coming days. So, Sagittarius, perhaps there has been some kind of sense of discontent or just uncomfortableness up to this point. Maybe the path has been a little bit unclear for you, and it seems like something's going to be shown to you within the next few days, and that the path forward is going to be more clear, and you're going to be content with that path. So Sagittarius, I'm going to do a little bit longer of a reading for you just because I feel like it. So I'm going to get one of these archetype cards just to see what the general energy is surrounding you or available to you in the last few weeks of October 2020. Okay, Sagittarius, so we have the shadow, which came out reversed like this, and then we have the offering. So with the shadow here, especially with it coming out sideways, you know, it kind of seems to be symbolizing this in-between space that you may be feeling at this current time. That there seems to be kind of this pull between the darkness and the light. And, you know, take that whichever way it resonates for you, Sagittarius, because there's many situations that could apply to. I mean, it could be that you are sensing that within your individual being, or it could be in context of that chaotic sense that I was talking about before. So, and then with the offering here, it looks like you will come to some kind of conclusion or epiphany about an offering you can make that could, you know, like this shadow isn't necessarily in the reverse, but I mean, I feel like this offering can turn this shadow into positive. So Sagittarius, there may be something about your shadow side that actually is a really positive aspect to your personality. And we all struggle with our shadow side at certain points, but then I think a lot of people, once they do their shadow work or just face their shadow, actually come to understand that it's a really integral part to what makes them unique, and ultimately, Sagittarius, what gives you this reach. Like, this person is reaching out here, as you can see. So this shadow side actually gives you this reach and of connecting with other people in a way that maybe some people can't, Sagittarius. So that's what I'm getting for your general energy. Something about this offering card, though, I want to just look in the book and see if there's some kind of insight that I could be missing about this, Sagittarius. So I'm just going to go ahead and read it to you, Sagittarius, so we can learn together. So it says the offering, the gift, the present, the sacrifice. Unlike many of the other cards in this deck, the offering carries a clear as day message and a call to action. As you may have guessed, it is time for something to be given and given up for the sake of the bigger picture. If nothing comes to mind immediately, though it's likely it will, take time in meditation to consider what must be offered and who is to receive it. It's likely you'll feel attachment and hesitancy. You'll make excuses, but recognize the link between the word sacrifice and the word sacred. One leads to the other when we offer up something to the greater good. We lighten our load and become more able to serve. Imagine for a moment if you were to offer your whole self unconditionally to the world. For now, start small. So Sagittarius, that's an extremely powerful message for you. So like I said about this shadow side and the reach that it gives you, it does seem, Sagittarius, the way that I'm reading this, is that some of you are being called to use your unique gifts that you possibly have learned to accept through doing shadow work, and that spirit or the universe or whatever you call it, or your higher self, is calling you now to take action and put that authentic self out there on display in some way, which really makes sense in context of your channeled messages too, because there were a lot of calls to action there as well, I feel. So for some Sagittarians, it could be that you have something that you need to give up that maybe you feel has been hindering your development up to this point. But I'm kind of sensing strongly for some Sagittarians that maybe some of the things that need to be given up could be like low self-confidence or low self-esteem, or some fears that you have about what may happen if you put this out there. And the reason that I'm getting that sense is because, like the card said, that there could be this hesitancy that happens, but that this offering is for the greater good. So when you are aligning or thinking about what could go wrong, you're not necessarily aligning to, you know, what it is that you have to offer up for the highest good or the greater good. And it may not seem like the most forefront, you know, necessary thing when you are putting something out there to I don't know where I was going with that, Sagittarius. Anyway, let's just move on because that is pretty deep, but I hope that you got something out of it. So that's just the general energy that is surrounding you for the end of October, and like a big opportunity that's available for you out there, Sagittarius. And so if you have been getting signs from Spirit, or feel that you may have been, you know, I would say that seems to be true, because there are probably many calls to action that are coming in for you from many different sources, because it seems like you have something really special and really unique to offer, and something that could be helpful to the greater good and helpful to other people, which of course is your individual choice, Sagittarius, if you want to use your gifts to help others. But just the general sense around this reading is that this is for a Sagittarius who is interested in helping others, and that's just kind of a Sagittarian trait anyway. I mean, Sagittarians can be very flamboyant and really like to be social, and they are really unique. So Sagittarius, this seems like the time to get out there and use your strengths and really, you know, bring it home for yourself too, and for others, that things that you may not have always accepted or integrated about yourself are actually very, very special and have always been there for a reason. So Sagittarius, I'm going to just do some situational readings for you here. So let's take a look and see what is going on in your career or work field in the end of October, Sagittarius. So we have alliances, which came up reversed. So it's a number 4. And the card says connections, unity, and creative solutions. So Sagittarius, with that being in the reverse, you know, it kind of harkens back to what I was just saying about some of this confidence stuff that may be going on. Maybe you feel at this time that, you know, this unity or connectedness doesn't exist, and I'm still just kind of getting this feeling about just like some insecurity. And the fox is classically a symbol of kind of like trickery, even though this fox seems pretty friendly and I don't see him too much that way. But it's like there is connection here. You know, there's like all these birds around, and they're trying to be with this fox because they maybe feel that they are the same color, and that's good enough. And the fox is kind of like, I mean, I'm a fox. I don't know. So maybe Sagittarius, there is some unity and connectedness out there for you with a group of people that maybe aren't like exactly like you, but it seems that you do have something in common. There's something about this orange color that you may share, or something about your creativity that you may share, since all this orange could be symbolizing some sacral chakra stuff and creativity there. So Sagittarius, there is an energy there, I think, for creativity, unity, and connectedness in your career, but for some reason it is in the reverse at this point. So then we have repose, which is upright, and it's a number 17, and it says pause, respite, and time out. So it could be possible that Sagittarius, you're just not feeling this unity and alliance and connectedness because you are spending time alone. I mean, in our careers, a lot of us are technically spending time alone. We're doing a lot of things remotely or working from home. So that could be also why this alliance is in reverse for you. So you're kind of taking a rest, taking a time out, you're thinking about things, you could be connecting with your higher guidance because of the way this person is looking up into the sky, and she just seems to be kind of contemplating, and she has these moths around her, which are very symbolic of being in tune and sensing with undercurrents or underlying vibrations in a situation. So then we have awakening here that comes out next, Sagittarius. It's a number 1, and it says attraction, beginning, newness, and communing. So Sagittarius, it could be that you are thinking about doing something a new way in your career or your work. It could be that you're taking a time out to see if this job that you currently have is what you still want or fits your path moving forward. But in this time of rest and thinking about this, it does look like you're having an awakening moment about what it is that you want to do next and how you want to live your life. So with the awakening card too, it could straight up just stand for a spiritual awakening. And so if that is going on for you, Sagittarius, a lot of people, will find at the time of awakening or at various points on the awakening journey that for whatever reason their work may not kind of fit their path or their morals or values anymore. And sometimes that can happen pretty rapidly, or you could kind of have a change of heart pretty quickly when that's something that could be going on for you. So just take it however it resonates, Sagittarius. And then finally, we have contemplation, which was in the reverse. It's a number 36, and it says reflection, rumination, and musings. So it looks like in the end, Sagittarius, you are coming out of this contemplative state. Perhaps there was something that you were ruminating on in work, but it seems like you've taken the proper time out to, see how you really feel and what the deeper meaning was behind that. So, Spirit, can you give me a final outcome, just some clarity on Sagittarius's career or work situation in the end of October, please? So we have Coyote Spirit, which says trust in divine detours, which is kind of interesting because, how I was saying that this alliance card and this fox, sometimes the fox can be a little bit of a tricky character depending on the context. And then the coyote is really viewed the same way as well. Sometimes can be a little bit of a trickster or misunderstood. So, and that does seem to be the case here. So Sagittarius, maybe something happened at work where you felt a little bit misunderstood. But in any event, it does look like something happened at work that didn't, in the beginning at least, seem ideal. There's been some change that's happened for you, whether that's internally based on your own views changing or external and things are just changing at work. So Spirit is asking you here to trust in divine detours. So I think that in the end of October, you will have a better idea of why this all happened and the reasoning behind it. But for now, it's just very clear that this is happening for your greater good, Sagittarius. And then we have the moth spirit, which is also interesting again, since we just talked a little bit about the moth. So this moth is surrender now, and it's a number 39. So Sagittarius, whatever is taking place, it seems like it is somewhat out of your control, but you may not be viewing it as out of your control at this time. And sometimes when we have like worry or anxiety about a situation, that can actually be us, trying to control the situation. So Spirit is just asking you to surrender for now to the unknown about this situation, but it's still, again, very clear that Spirit has a plan for you behind this, and this change is necessary to propel you forward in your future. And Sagittarius, if you were resonating with the awakening as a spiritual awakening, then this could also be asking you to surrender now to the ideas or, evolution of your mind that's happening, and just to follow that process. So Sagittarius, that's what I have for your work in the end of October. So let's take a look at your interpersonal relationships, Sagittarius, and see what's happening there. So this could have to do with your friends or family members or people you live with. So Spirit, can you please give me the situational energy surrounding Sagittarius and their close personal relationships? Okay, so first out, Sagittarius, we have conflict here, which is a number 28, and it says discord, disagreement, and common ground. And it was in the reverse. So Sagittarius, it seems like in the past there could have been some kind of conflict that you were in with another person. And then we have number 22, beauty, that came out, which says radiance, self-esteem, and strength. It did come up in the reverse. So Sagittarius, it seems like whatever this conflict was has you now feeling a little bit sensitive or self-conscious, which we were talking about in the beginning of this reading as well in general. Sagittarius, there seems to be a real highlight here around self-confidence and self-esteem. So let's just see what the rest of the cards are. So then we have unravel, which is a number 27, and it says puzzle, conundrum, and solution. So whatever this conflict that took place, Sagittarius, that has you feeling not as confident as you could, has you feeling like your relationship with this person or people is unraveling. You might not be completely sure why this happened, and it's very confusing and confounding to you, and you may have trouble right now seeing the way out of this or seeing a solution to this situation with whoever this is with. And then finally we have acknowledgement, which also came out in the reverse, which is a number 26. So acknowledgement, seeing, knowing, and acceptance. So Sagittarius, what I'm feeling about this situation is that there's something here that needs to be acknowledged about it. Like maybe you're hanging on to the good memories about this person, or just maybe you're confused because there's something about the situation that you really just don't want to see. So let's see if Spirit can give us a little more clarity about this relationship, Sagittarius. Spirit, what clarity do you need Sagittarius to know about this? Okay, Sagittarius. So it seems that you are feeling alone. So this could have been a breakup that you just went through, or some kind of separation. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, but it could be. So then we have darkest fears, which came out kind of like this. Like it is in the reverse, but it's kind of like way going down in the reverse. So I think, Sagittarius, that the thing that's being avoided or not acknowledged here is something that has to do with your darkest fears. And then also in the reverse, we got clarity of belief. So Sagittarius, I mean, it appears to me that you are the feminine energy in this scenario, or a female. Um, and this looks like a romantic relationship to me. So you may have had a breakup or an argument, and it could have straight up had something to do with beauty. But either way, it definitely has you feeling in low self-esteem. You know, the relationship is unraveling, you don't understand what's going on, and you're not acknowledging or seeing something about the situation. So you find yourself feeling alone, and it could be due to your darkest fears, which I don't really want to say too much what somebody's darkest fears could be, Sagittarius, but I mean, it could be that you feel that this person is no longer attracted to you, or it could be that you fear this person cheating on you or being interested in someone else. And then with the clarity of belief that was also in reverse, I'm just going to say that I feel like you don't believe the person, whatever they're saying. That maybe they're saying like, no, this doesn't have to do with that, because upright, you know, this is like a very loving and exciting and expansive energy. It has heart chakra kind of written all over it, and this person is giving their love to you. But for whatever reason, you are not believing in this thing that this person was like once offering, or is saying that they are offering. But I don't see a clear message from Spirit that is saying, you know, that this person is doing this or this person is doing that, and that your darkest fears are coming true. It's basically just telling me that in the end of October, this is what you believe. So that's where I'm going to leave that, Sagittarius. And if any of this resonates for you and you want to know more about it, you can visit my website, and I do offer personal readings there. So Sagittarius, let's get just the final energy for you about your spirituality in the end of October. What messages, Spirit, do you have for Sagittarius in the closing of this reading about their spirituality? So Sagittarius, it looks like you're moving on from something, and you are embracing a new thing, and the feeling alone is reversed now. So I think that in your spirituality, it could be that you are moving on to a new practice or a new way of thinking. You know, maybe you just had some outdated religious beliefs or something like that that were sort of holding you back, and maybe you have had some sort of awakening now that just is causing you to move on to new things. And then with the world here, or embrace, you know, and here's all this sacred geometry imagery and connecting with the heart of the earth and the core of Gaia. Also interesting that these are men here again. So it's like moving on from one man, you know, or some heartbreak, or like I said, a spiritual practice. And then there is a new man or a new masculine energy that is entering your life here. But this also looks just like mastery of self and stepping in, like I said, to this new awareness, this new way of being. And it's very expansive and just, you know, it's encompassing of all. And ultimately through this, you know, and it, you know, I think it is relating back to that relationship reading, and that's okay. I mean, a lot of our spirituality does have to do with who we choose to be in a relationship with, and that's a very close thing to our heart and to our daily lives. So it's not uncommon for your spirituality to be mixed in with your close personal relationships. So it could just be that you're joining like some kind of new church or some new practice where you have new connections with people. And so that has you feeling less alone in the outcome. But it could also be that you will meet someone new through this new practice that you're doing, or this new whatever spiritual thing that you're doing. And it just could be the awakening, and the spiritual practice itself is like having you come home to yourself. And so you don't feel alone because you are so fulfilled in your spirituality. So that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. Thanks for sticking with me on this. And I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.